All right, we're here at Minute Maid Park ahead of the World Series opening between the Astros and the Phillies. Pleasure to be joined by Brian McTaggart, MLB.com. Everybody in Houston knows you well. 19 years now. You and I were covering this team. You've seen it all, the good years, the bad years, and now this latest run they've been on. What's it been like for you to cover this team, being a local guy yourself?
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible, following this team for years and years growing up. If you ever would have told me they'd be on a run like this, it would be hard to believe. 4 World Series in 6 years. I mean, I tell people that it'll probably never get this good again as long as, we're all on this planet. I mean, it's pretty unprecedented what they're doing, and they're not done. I mean, I think they'll continue to win here for the next few years with the core that they have. But, if they could get another World Series, I think that would help cement this era as sort of, the golden era of Astros baseball, like people like to say. But it's been pretty incredible.
When you look at this particular team and as successful as they've been, a lot of people still say, yeah, but that 2019 team was really good. They fell short. But how does this team, in your opinion, compare to that one?
Yeah, I thought the 2019 was a better team. They were clearly a better offense. I mean, I think they set the Major League record for slugging percentage, and they had the 1-2 finisher in the Cy Young race at the top of the rotation, but they didn't have the pitching depth that this team has. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's obviously what's got this team back in the World Series. I still think the 2019 team might be a little bit better, but what they've done pitching-wise, and they've done it all year, is pretty incredible. When you have 6-7 starting pitchers. Remember the World Series last year, they struggled to get anybody past 3 or 4 innings. They pretty much ran out of pitching. Yeah. And this year they have Jose Urquidy, who's got 3 World Series wins, not even pitching in the playoffs yet. So embarrassment of riches in the pitching staff.
All right, game 1 with the Phillies. There's a team that finished, I believe, 3rd in their division, right?
Yep.
So, and they've been the Cinderella story. They've gotten it done to advance here. They're hot right now. We know what the Astros have done. A lot of people are saying, it's going to be Astros, a cakewalk, get through this thing. Where do you see this series going? Do you see it being a deep series?
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, I thought the Astros would take care of the Yankees pretty easily, and they did. But, Philadelphia is a team that's caught a little bit of magic. They have had 4 days off, kind of like the Astros, so you don't know how that's going to affect them. But they're a team that's got some guys up and down the lineup that can do damage. They have a dangerous hitter in the middle in Bryce Harper. They also have 2 elite starting pitchers just like the Astros. So they could come in here and win one of these first 2 games in Houston and make it a long series. I still think the Astros have too much pitching depth that if this series goes 6 or 7 games, I think the Astros are going to have too much pitching. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, Philadelphia, everyone talks about the Astros being 7-0 in the playoffs. Philadelphia's 9-2. They've had a pretty good run here as well.
Absolutely. Game 1 matchup, pitching Verlander against Nola. This is big for Verlander, but he's had time off. He hadn't pitched since Wednesday during that last series, and now he's had the long layoff. Do you think that'll be a factor at all? I guess you mentioned that he's had a couple of bullpens, but it feels like he's going to be ready at least.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, a lot of times in the regular season, just with him coming off Tommy John surgery and with their pitching depth, they would give him 5 or 6 days rest. So he's sort of been built up for this kind of outing. He's pitched in both game 1 so far on quite a bit of rest. Didn't pitch well in game 1 of the DS. CS pitched much better. You saw this Phillies team just a few weeks ago, but they didn't have any of their big bats in the lineup because they had just clinched. It was the hangover game, so they didn't have Schwarber or Hoskins or Harper or any of those guys. So you can't really put much in that. But I think JV will be ready. Never won a World Series game before and everything that he's done in his career, so that's something he's trying to get under his belt now.
Lastly, what's been the biggest surprise from this Astros team? Everybody knew they would be good, but guys that have stepped up. Is it a guy like Jeremy Pena? Is there somebody else that has really stood out and say, that kind of surprised me a little bit when you look back at the season? Yeah,
I mean, I think we didn't know what to expect from Pena. He got off to a good start. He struggled at times, but he really played well in September after making some changes in the stance. They moved him to the second spot in the lineup. But just guys like McCormick stepping up and just the depth of their pitching staff, guys like Hector Neris and Ryan Stanek just getting it. Montero, who was sort of, I think, a throw-in in that trade last year. Now he's one of their key relievers. In the playoffs so far, they haven't gotten much out of Altuve or Alvarez or Tucker, but they're still winning because they have a lot of depth, not only pitching-wise, but it turns out their lineup has some depth too, and those guys are coming through. All
right, phenomenal story with the Astros. We'll see if they can finish it up. He's Brian McTaggart, a longtime writer, MLB.com, 19 years covering the Astros, and I know you have a lot of good stuff coming up in the World Series. Appreciate the time, man.
All right, ready.
Back to you guys.